big hench dude. You recording now?
No, we're recording now, mate.
No, okay, so you got that bit then?
No.
No? Did you not get the bit about me saying that it's going to be difficult to get me in shot? Have you got my good side today?
No.
Right, okay, we're here today to talk about this C63. You've absolutely ruined me over that one. He's laughing his head off. Flipping hell, that was an effort, wasn't it? Voice activated GoPro sorted out. Honestly.
GoPro, stop recording.
Oh, Lee, you told me to say the wrong words. GoPro, start. And that's the way you do it. Luckily it's not turned itself back off. So, we are out in... Let's just turn this off before we get no money for this video. We're out in my dad's C63. Now anyone who knows who that is will know the in-joke. My dad being Andrew Evans, or Smiler as they call him. Now he's the guy who owned a Focus RS Mark II that we tuned back in the day. It was about 600 horsepower. It's still about now, and it's recently been tuned by 𝘫𝘚 Racing, and I believe it made 700-ish horsepower, I think, that 𝘫𝘚 put up the other day on a GT3584, or GTX 3584 should I say. So it's no slouch itself. Now we are in this 2016 plate Mercedes. What we're going to find out today is whether this is a worthy upgrade for the Mark III or Mark II Focus RS. Now we know that a lot of people are confused when it comes to upgrades, and confused whether to stick with their original car or what the next choice is. So what we thought we'd bring you on the channel today is a little bit of our review of some different alternatives to the Ford Mark, just so that we can mix it up more than anything and give you guys some interesting content. So luckily enough, Smiler is a really good friend of mine, and he's allowed us to take his car for the day, and that's what we're going to do today, is find out, is this a worthy upgrade for either your Focus RS or, well, Mark III or Mark II. So we'll find out. Now there's no doubt that this C63 is a really comfortable place to be. I feel like I could have a snooze right now. To be fair, we've been quite busy, quite flat out.
The thing is with this car, you got the best of both worlds in my opinion. You got power, you got
nobody really cares, Lee.
Well, I care.
You care.
And that's what counts.
I agree with what you're saying. You got power and luxury. It is like a big old comfy armchair. It's got electric power seats. It's got a powered boot to it. It's got what looks like a cheap eBay tablet stuck to the front of the dashboard. And it really does, to be fair. That's the one gripe I've got with it. It does look a bit kind of like Bentley-esque inside, would you say? We've got the carbon fibre. I'm sure Lee will show you later with some cinematics and dynamic camera angles, whatever you want to call them. The switches are really clumsy, kind of like aluminium stuff. There's an extra over item, which is a clock, and I believe this clock, comment in the descriptions if you know, but I think this clock, to add this flipping clock here, is like £1,000 Lee. I can't believe it. I mean, it looks amazing. The details on the door cards, the brushed stainless steel or aluminium or whatever it is, I think it's brushed aluminium. All the details around it. The one thing I really hate about these cars is the HUD, which is the heads-up display. I really hate them. They're not a thing for me. I'm not a massive fan of them. It just distracts me, and I think this on the Merc and the BMW M4, the heads-up display, I really don't like it. I don't know about you, Lee.
No, I was driving Dan Reed's car last week, and that's got a heads-up display in his M4, and
it just gets in your way.
Yeah, my preference is if I was driving that car and it could be switched off, I'd have it turned off at all times.
Who needs a heads-up display right in front of you there? It's right in my field of vision. It's really distracting. I get what it's there for, but it's not for me. Yeah, in terms of steering wheel and everything, I mean, we could go on forever describing exactly what's amazing about this car. And it is amazing inside. It's such a different place, but it's got all the same rattles that you get with a Mark III RS. So this is the same age of some of the Mark IIIs that some of our viewers will have, and it's got all those same annoying little rattles in the back. You know, I've got a rattly seat or something here now. I mean, there's nothing much in the boot, so it's something. I think it's might even, well, it just sounds like plastic on plastic, to be quite honest with you. But yeah, it's just still got those, for this much money, you'd expect it to glide along like nothing else. Is that Alcantara or suede or something inlay on the side there? I don't know what it is. It's lavished in leather. It's lavished in some bits of Alcantara. There's some carbon fibre in the centre. You'll see in the cinematics again. There's carbon fibre on the rev counter and on the speedo. It's great. It's fantastic. It's not my cup of tea, I don't think, and I'm just being honest. I love the sound, but at, I think these are 467 horsepower reported from Mercedes. I think they do a little bit doo-doo in the pants. They do produce a bit more power than that's reported. Litchfield advertised that these things are about 480 horsepower based upon the stage 1 remap giving you another 100 horsepower, and that's what we're going to touch on today, which is how much could you spend and get a bit more bang for your buck to tune a Mark III Focus RS rather than upgrading it. And for instance, for a 66 plate onwards C63, you're looking at circa £40,000. Now that's a lot of money for 480, 470 brake horsepower, whatever it may be. It seems like a phenomenal amount of money, doesn't it, Lee?
Yeah.
I think that this is a great choice for maybe some of our older viewers to go to next. Maybe that you just want a bit more comfort, but I'm not even sure that's true, because the thing's not that easy to get into, is it?
No, not really, but you've also got to think that people that are owning these Fords at the moment, the RSs, the STs, the whole part of owning them is modifying them and getting to this power, and it's the fun of that. It's more of a hobby than just going out there and buying that power.
Yeah, totally agree. So we're in, what are we even in here? C Comfort, I think. So we've got different modes, so I'm going to put it into Sports Plus, and you can hear the note change. I'm not sure if they could hear that, but let's drop it down. So we're in third now. We're at 2,500 revs. Let's see, we've dropped it down to second. We're at 3,000 revs. We're on the dual carriageway, and that was basically into third gear, I think, and 72 mile an hour ish. So yeah, no speed limits broken there, but that was, yeah, it threw me back in the back of the seat.
It threw me back. I
don't know if it was any more than a 440 brake horsepower Mark III RS or not. You can decide, let us know.
To me, that felt a lot smooth power. Yeah, it chucked you back initially, but as soon as you start going, it was a lot more smoother than you get in like the RS or something like that.
Yeah.
But it's a lot more aggressive.
But I think Ford owners want aggression.
Yeah,
They want aggression.
that's the fun of owning cars like that, really.
But let's snap out of this. Let's do some outsides. Let's do some insides. Let's give them what they want, which is the noise, Lee. Let's get it on like Donkey Kong. throttling, and we're just driving along now and just messing about with different gears and like seeing how it reacts and so on. But it gives you that initial shunt, and then maybe like Ben said when I was having a chat to him before, because I said it just doesn't feel like the power that it should be. Maybe it is that it's just so refined against a GTR or something like that. Yeah. And Ben said, oh, you don't get any of the rattles, so it doesn't make it feel fast. Well, so wrong was he. Flipping hell, it's doing me head in, this thing. What is it? Is it the leather seats just like so crisp and new that they're like, I don't know what the hell it is, but
definitely a rattle in
definitely doing me head in. Have you brought the Skittles in your pocket again? Flipping hell, Lee. It just, I don't know what it is. It just isn't like giving me that. I've driven GTRs, and like Andy has been lucky enough to own some awesome, amazing cars. Now, if you know Andrew Evans, if you know Smiler, should I say, or Smiley RS as he was on the forums, then you'll know exactly what he's owned, and you'll understand when I say he's been really lucky. That was just a second gear pull again. He's been mega lucky in the, you know, what cars he's owned. He's owned about 3 GTRs so far. He's owned a 700 plus horsepower Audi S5, I think it was. He's owned some tuned Audi S3, I think, a Cupra maybe, an Astra, lots of Astra Racings. Back in the day, he was the guy who traded in an Evo for the Focus RS Mark II. He's owned Cozzies and all sorts, so he's not, you know, he's not unfamiliar with the Ford brand. I just don't think I'd ever convince him to go back, because the problem is that when you own something like this, there is no going back, because you're at that level where you're accustomed to the luxury that this delivers, and it is another level. Although I do take the mick out of the eBay tablet that's on the front and the iDrive type BMW setup that's in the centre for changing everything. These sort of aircraft grade switches that are in the middle, they're befitting of the car, but I just don't think they're necessary, should I say. It would be nicer if they were just a touch screen and just much smoother. I get what they were doing with it, and I'm no designer at the end of the day, so yeah, I understand where they were going with it. For me, I'm just not certain this would be the next car for me.
I'd have it. I would have it. But I drive a 1 Series Beamer, so yeah, I can't really say much.
Let's not put the viewers off, Lee. I don't know. There's just not enough. And what we're going to do is, as I said before, or as I've alluded to previously, we're going to do, or we have gone through a list of how much it'll cost and what you'll achieve from tuning this vehicle versus tuning a Mark III RS, for instance, or a Mark II RS. So we're going to go into a bit of detail and hopefully enlighten you guys as to just how expensive these cars are once you get to that level. Because remember that brake discs and pads for a Mark II and Mark III are at this level. When you go on to the next level of exclusivity, luxury, whatever you want to call it, then everything becomes infinitely more expensive to maintain. Tyres, brakes, discs, brake pads themselves, servicing intervals. There's loads of different things that can affect that, and this is what people tend to forget, including Andrew, and he'd admit that. I mean, Smiley'd admit that. He'd be the first to admit that every time he gets something like this, he's still already forgotten that it's going to cost him a fortune, and it's just got carried away in the moment. But for now, we'll leave it at that. Do you want to say anything, Lee? Have you started that YouTube channel yet?
No, not yet. But
why haven't you started that YouTube channel yet? Have you taken the camera home again? You did, didn't you? Did you take it home last night or something? What happened last night, Lee?
No.
Did you take it home?
No.
No?
No.
What happened last night, Lee?
No.
just for a bit of context, what happened last night is Alan lighting you. Lee took the camera home, or did he take it home? Yeah, he did, yeah. He took it home, and instead of doing something, he just left the camera on for the battery to go dead. So, again, if you think Lee's a whopper, then comment down below, because he still hasn't done anything about his YouTube channel. We're like 2 days on. So, if I
was going to do a YouTube channel, what would you guys like to see in it?
Comment down below, along with Lee, a whopper, do this. Okay? So, cinematic, photography, videography based comments down below for those of you that are gonna help Lee out. I'd really appreciate it, but as many Lee's a whopper comments as possible, please, because there was only 2 in the last video. But for now, we'll join you in a moment. Big hench dude. You recording now?
No, we're recording now, mate.
No, okay, so you got that bit then?
No.
No? Did you not get the bit about me saying
No.
that it's going to be difficult to get me in shot? Have you got my good side today?
No.
Right, okay, we're here today to talk about this C63. You've absolutely ruined me over that one. He's laughing his head off. So yeah, we're here today to talk about this C63 and why it is or isn't a good upgrade for the Mark II or the Mark III in that instance, Focus RS. So let's start with the price. This is a 16 plate or 66 plate in this instance, Mercedes C63. It was purchased for in the region of £40,000. Now that's a massive dollar in comparison to a 16 plate Focus RS Mark III, circa, depending on the mileage, around about 25,000 to 26,000 for a good condition Mark III with very little mileage. Now this has got very little miles on it. A Mark II Focus RS, now if that's got low mileage on it, we could be talking 28 or 30,000 quid, but it's a lower base price than the starting price of a second-hand C63. Now I've done some research just for you guys. It bored the death out of me, I've got to be honest, because it wasn't something I was really interested in doing, but I needed to do it for the purposes of this video. So I had a look on the Lichfield website, mainly because that was the quickest and easiest way to do it. I knew they did the vehicles, I knew they had some software and some hardware to cater for these particular models. So with that being said, a remap stage 1, answers down below how much you think that will cost you. Well, sorry, this is a quick video, so I'm going to answer now. £600 plus VAT for a Lichfield stage 1, which takes it to roughly 100 horsepower more than it has now. Now, the reported figures, as I said before, are approximately 480 brake horsepower for this. You gain the same approximate number in torque as well, so from 480 it goes to about 580. If I've got that wrong, then comment down below, feel free. Here's where it gets really naggy interesting. To go stage 2, you need a exhaust. Now, the option that Lichfield offer is an Ecropovich. Now, I can't even believe I'm going to say that. The prices start from 5,000 quid.
How much?
5,000 quid for the stuff that you need to do this. Now I assume that's a full exhaust system, but I'm probably wrong because I stopped reading at that point. You can get variations, I think, amendments and certain bolt-ons for a little bit less money, but roughly circa £6,000 to take this vehicle to stage 2. Now I'm assuming that's on top of, that's plus VAT by the way, I'm assuming that that can only be on top of what you've already spent to get it to stage 1. So you're probably looking at between 6,500 and 7,000 quid just to get this thing to sound a bit noisier and to get some more power. Now I didn't actually read what that stage 2 takes it to, but in terms of bang for buck, we don't even need to discuss this, but let's go for it anyway. So a stage 2 Revo performance pack, which takes the car to approximately 395 to 430 brake horsepower. Okay, now admittedly that doesn't include an exhaust system, a full one. It only includes the downpipe, but that's like 1800, 2 grand ish mark. Then if you look at the stage 2, now I'll put some actual information if I can in the description below about really how much of these things cost you, and some links if I remember, but just a third of the price to get anything somewhere near to the 100 brake horsepower mark increase, which is a percentage of the original, is a third in comparison to tuning this, and you only get just over 20% increase in power. Now this car's already tuned, the one that my dad owns, or Smiler as his real name is. It's not even Smiler, it's Andy. He says this is tuned, and it's, I believe, someone correct me if I'm wrong, because someone will know this car, they're bound to. It stands out, it's got the carbon side skirts and the carbon front splitter to it, and it's got those unusual wheels on it as well. But this is meant to be 550 horsepower. Now to me, at this level, it doesn't feel like 550 horsepower. Now I may be absolutely wrong, and I've not come up against anything on the road, so I can't say that it isn't or it is, but to me it doesn't feel that powerful against other things that Andy's owned, that I've driven of his and been fortunate enough to drive. I think if we got a 500 horsepower Focus RS Mark II, or even better, a 500 horsepower stage 3 turboed RS version of an ST with a forged motor in against this, I think it'd be fairly neck and neck, if I'm honest. So to summarise, 6 odd grand plus VAT to make this thing faster, proper faster. Or you could just upgrade your Mark III or your Mark II and have a load of fun. For me, this isn't the car that's next, but for some of you it may be. So if we provided some sort of insight into what we think about this particular C63 AMG, then I hope you're excited. And if this is your dream car, then please don't let me put you off. But for now, if you have enjoyed the content and you're still enjoying the content that we're producing, then please consider subscribing, hit that bell icon to stay notified, like and share across social media. We're ever so close to that 2,000 subscriber mark now. As of today, we're almost at 1,700. We really want to give away that mirror image car care cleaning kit to you as soon as possible. Thanks to Nick and the team for giving that to us to give away. We didn't ask them to do that, they just did it because they're great people. They have some great products on their website. Go check them out. Check them out on Facebook and on Instagram. MICC, Mirror Image Car Care. But for now, I'll leave it at that, and we'll see you next time at BD Performance.